itself. Many men had dark hair. No, it was the way the stuff continually flopped over one eye and must be brushed back with a careless hand that was the issue. Each time the man ruffled it back, it settled into a new and artlessly charming disarray. It didn't look like he was doing it on purpose, but something within Azalais told her he knew full well what he did, and its effect. Element the second. Beneath that wayward hair smiled two distinctly dangerous eyes. Smiled. Her brother had explained how serious the situation was. She had heard him just a moment ago. The fellow had no business smiling about it. But what was it about those eyes? They were dark to match his dark hair, dark-lashed and of perfectly normal dimensions, in no way unusual, until one took in their expression. Azalais shifted minutely against the glass to better examine her subject. Yes, it was their expression that was the problem. The fellow sported a pair of sleepy-lidded eyes, arched over by wicked curved brows, and the whole seemed to brim with lurking mischief. It turned her very innards to aspic. And the rest? The remaining offenders were chiefly a defined jaw that might have been clean-shaven 2 days ago, but was now rakishly unkempt, in contrast with his evidently expensive clothes. One doublet, well-tailored to fit a trim torso, and a pair of hose adhering to rather nicely shaped legs. And then there were his hands. Dear God, why must his hands be so beautiful? Of course, Azalais had examined his hands with more than usual attention, but even if she hadn't, she could hardly have missed them. He wore no gloves. The spring weather was warm enough now, and when he spoke, his hands did too. They were elegant, yet evidently strong, and they practically sang, he used them so expressively. They were musicians' hands. Of course, she would his hands a source of endless allure. But why must they be accompanied by all these other, entirely unnecessary attractions? Azalais shook her head slightly, polishing the glass in the process. Then, face to the broken pane, she tried once again. What was it about this fellow in the graveyard that was so wrong? Her brother trusted him. Why shouldn't she? She tried to think logically, without prior experience colouring her judgment. The fellow was quite different in air and appearance from her elder brother's men-at-arms and assorted cronies. So far, so good. With them, what one saw was what one got, and none of it particularly good. Here, the danger lay in a different department. The man's every action seemed studied, calculated. This specimen of offensive manhood knew his power. He moved in his own little aura of self-conscious attraction. And all this was glaringly evident when he was only talking to her brother. Her monkish, unassuming brother, who had known this knight since they were boys in cathedral school together. Oh, it was too much. She would not trust this fop with the beautiful hands to escort her across a cloister, let alone through half of France. Azalais de Keldy turned her face away. She could not pain her eyes with the disintegration of her plan any longer. So she put her ear to the peephole instead. When you visited me 2 weeks ago, you spoke of reaching a crossroads in your life, Will. That was Benedict speaking. Her brother, her real brother, and her only ally in this current crisis. Indeed, and you declined to guide my way then. It was a voice like melting honey that replied, deep and smooth, but doubtless concealing a nasty sting. One man cannot